What would you be willing to do for money? Sometimes people want to get their hands on these pieces of paper so badly that they are willing to commit the most awful things. This cynical event happened at the Beirut airport. A small wooden box of about 3 cubic meters was found there. There was a small hole on top, and there was some visible movement inside. There wasn't anything on the box to indicate what was inside. No markings, no instructions, nothing. A cargo plane brought this box to Beirut, Lebanon, and it just stood there for several days, waiting to be transferred further. Place of departure: Ukraine. Destination: Syria. Eventually, one of the airport workers accidentally looked into the hole near the cover and almost fainted right on the spot. These Lebanese customs officers opened the box and found 3 frightened, exhausted tiger cubs inside, huddling together. They could only breathe through that one small hole, and the box smelled like feces. Apparently, it hasn't been cleaned up for at least a week. The airport officials reported the find to the local animal protection organization, Animals Lebanon. They arrived immediately. 3 4-month-old cubs lay in their own urine and feces, hungry and exhausted. The cubs had to relieve themselves right there in the crate, said Jason Mayer, executive director of the Lebanese Animal Rights Group. Because of the heat and unsanitary conditions, their bodies were infested with maggots. And some terrible worms were crawling inside the box. When the cubs were transported to the vet, they couldn't even get up. They were so emaciated. Nothing indicated that the box contained tigers or even live animals, and there were no details of a shipper or receiver, representatives of the animal protection organization AL said on their social media page. And that's despite the fact that Siberian tigers are particularly valuable and endangered species. It turned out that the animals were sold by a Ukrainian zoo in the city of Nikolaev to a similar zoo located in Damascus and were traveling there. Animal rights activists asked the court not to return the animals to the owner, but to leave them in Beirut for rehabilitation. We provided proof that these cubs weren't the only ones. Since 2012, their mother has given birth to at least 12 cubs. 9 of them traveled to unknown destinations to private buyers, they said. Realizing that these animals would die without AL's help, the court ruled to temporarily confiscate the tiger cubs. However, the seller and the buyer of the animals are vigorously fighting for the right to take their cargo back. The director of the Nikolaev Zoo, Vladimir Topchi, confirmed that those really were the cubs from Nikolaev. However, he claimed that the situation is completely different. These are our cubs, which we exchanged for a caracal through an animal dealer. All the documents are in order on our side, and by the way, the buyer's documents are also in order. And the customs officers are the same in every country. They just want the cubs and are looking for all sorts of reasons, Vladimir Topchi commented. Moreover, the director of the zoo denies that the animals were in a deplorable state. It isn't true. These people simply want to take them away. He's an experienced dealer, this Syrian person, and this isn't our first time working with him. His documents are all in order. There was a trial and the court ruled in his favor, but the head of the customs office wants to confiscate the cubs. That's all. There are ignorant social activists everywhere as well, Topchi added. Meanwhile, the tiger cubs, 2 sisters and a brother, got a whole enclosure at their disposal. They had no names, only numerical codes, so they decided to start by naming the little tiger cubs. They gave the Siberians their native names, Maya, Tanya, and Anton. The poor little things are gradually getting over the difficult journey and are already showing character. Maya is the bravest and most curious. Tanya is her faithful companion who follows her sister everywhere. Anton, on the other hand, is a good-natured and shy little cub who still looks at everyone with apprehension. Just watch how they play and goof around when they're feeling well. Now the cubs can only wait and see what the court decides. These kittens could go for tens of thousands of dollars on the black market, so their owners will fight for them until the end. And we hope that this story ends well for the little cubs. They already have begun to smile, and they have stepped on the path of trusting people. So we hope that they only get to experience kindness in their future life.